Disappears started when I recorded some demos with Graham Gibson, who was the first drummer in Disappears, and he suggested that we start a band. He used to play in a band with Jonathan called Boa, so he suggested getting Jonathan on board, and then Jonathan knew Damon just from around, and he suggested Damon as bass player. Noah came into the band about a year ago. Yeah, it's been 1 year, yeah.
Wow, guys.
When Brian called me to ask me if I wanted to be in the band, he started the conversation by saying, "Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, how's it going?" And I immediately started talking to him about how much I love the pre-language album, because I've been listening to it nonstop, and I was pretty shocked when the next thing he said is, "Do you want to be in the band?" And that was pretty great.
We're always trying to focus on keeping things minimal and keeping things sort of efficient.
As speaking as the new guy, this is the first band that I've been in where your first inclination of what to play, you play half of it or less. You never add anything, you only take things away.
I think that's been what has given the album so much space. It's like the kind of parameters that have been set and everything, which is...
It's not like rules, but it's just things to keep in mind, you know? We've kind of figured out what we want the band to be, and every record is just another like push into like seeing how far that can go. Like, how much can we take away before this thing falls apart? The third or fourth song we wrote was a song on our first album. It's called Old Friend. And that song, I think, was when we really first kind of like hit the nail on the head. We're like, all right, this is what we want to do. It was just like throbbing, really repetitive. Just felt like the sort of moment where we were all like, let's take this idea and see how we can explore like all the different sides of it. So that's when I first felt like we had kind of hit on something.
We're still working with ideas, but then as the drummers have changed, they bring in their influences and references. And I was impressed by Noah just being able to jump in, because it's really collaborative, and he wasn't afraid to just like get in there and be collaborative with us, and he's keeping me on my toes because he's an animal.
Well, and even like we made this record and we made some choices in the studio and then had to make some decisions about how they were going to work in a live context, and that's been really cool. And I feel like this last 2 weeks of shows have been really informative about how to make the stuff that we recorded work as best as it can in a live context, which is its own thing, and it feels real like unified, and there's good communication. We put together a set that I think flows in the right way, and it feels like a good presentation.